Hello everyone, welcome to a special occasion where I'm going to do a type of video that I rarely ever do on this channel, which is a reaction video to a brand new announcement by my favorite studio, M2 ShotTriggers, and they are going to bring to the table a port of Dodonpachi DaiOuJou, DOJ, Blissful Death, however you want to pronounce it. If you haven't seen my greatest shmups of all times list, DOJ is the greatest shmup of all time, in my opinion, and many other players' opinions. I mean, this thing is a masterpiece, and M2 ShotTriggers, they are the masters of the porting process. They are the people who are the gold star standard of taking amazing classics like Ketsui and Garegga and doing them right, doing them justice, making City Connection and all the other active porting studios out there right now look like complete babies in comparison. So the one studio that needed to do the job is here to do it, so I'm incredibly excited about this release. This is one of the very few occasions, very few, where I'll actually pre-order something, because M2 ShotTriggers have such a strong track record of doing a fantastic job on these ports. I think they deserve it at this point. They deserve the trust, and if they screw this up, then, you know, everyone at the studio needs to commit harakiri or something, because this is a big deal. The only announcement that I think could possibly equal it in my book is if they did Dodonpachi, just because we could get the campaign version. But DOJ is actually really good and really exciting for a number of reasons. Before we get to the trailer, I want to sort of lay these out. The first reason is that even though DOJ has been ported twice, that is actually somewhat misleading, because each port have fundamental problems that don't quite capture what the game has to offer. First of all, there is the PS2 port. I have a review of the PS2 port you should definitely check out. The PS2 port is fantastic, play tested, very accurate, very groundbreaking too. It brought a lot of stuff to the table back in the PS2 era, like the awesome training mode and the replays, and it has like built-in super plays onto it. I mean, they really went all out, Arika did, when they did the PS2 port. So it's very solid, but it has a critical, fundamental, unforgivable flaw, which is there is no Black Label version on the PS2 port. It is an incomplete port. It'd be like if you got a Godfather trilogy on Blu-ray and it's missing Godfather Part 2. It's like, what the fuck? It is critical. The Black Label mode is the most popular mode. It is the best mode, in my opinion. So not having it on the PS2 port makes that port incomplete. And then we have the 360 port. I don't know if I've ever reviewed it. I think I did at some point a long time ago. The 360 port sucks. It's just a shit port. It has a ton of issues. It does have Black Label mode on it, but that port, first of all, they just stole a bunch of code from the PS2 port and tried to jam it into the 360, and it made a whole bunch of problems. First of all, it takes forever to load. Even if you get the patch, it still takes forever to load. And then also, it has this ugly filter on the graphics. It looks like someone took Vaseline and just rubbed it on your screen as you're playing. I'm like checking my monitor, trying to get it refunded before I realize, okay, no, the port has some kind of graphical issue. The inputs, it's hard to exactly pinpoint what's up with the inputs with it, but it just feels off. It feels funky. And then on top of that, I don't think the slowdown is all that accurate. It's just a hot mess. And so the 360 port, it's kind of but it's really incomplete. So having it finally come out with proper treatment by the M2 ShotTriggers team is really exciting, because not only will they have really low latency, at least so far they have a track record of doing incredibly low latency. Not only is it going to be very accessible on the PlayStation 4, but there's all kinds of other hidden factors that make it really awesome, like the save state support. I'm sure they're going to bring in some bitchin' arranged soundtracks, and DOJ is one of my favorite shmup soundtracks ever, and so having a new arrange of the soundtrack is going to be really exciting. And then on top of that, the online leaderboards are going to be really cool, because what's really awesome about when M2 do these ports proper is that not only do you get online leaderboards and you can share with your friends, you actually can start to see world records achieved on these ports. It's happened with a lot of their ports so far. So Garegga, you can see world records achieved on the PS4 port. Ketsui Deathtiny, Maglar achieved the world record on that port, and you can see it on the online leaderboard. You can download it, watch it. So it's like a really cool way to sort of preserve the competitive future of these games moving forward. So these online leaderboards are going to be really awesome. I'm really hoping they also bring to the table some kind of new arrange mode. They did a fantastic job with Ketsui Deathtiny. That mode is awesome. I'd love to see something like that in DOJ. And I think we all can admit that the X mode port in the 360 version, while kind of funny, is complete garbage. So having a real range for DOJ is also going to be really fantastic. This is just really awesome news all around, and it completes the holy trinity of shmups under M2 ShotTriggers. So they got Battle Garegga, the father, they've got Ketsui, the holy ghost, and now they've got DOJ, the J-Man himself. They've completed the trinity of the top 3 shmups of all time. So if you don't own a PS4 right now, get your ass a PS4. And in my opinion, this moves the PS4 from one of the best shmup consoles of all time, we're not talking PC, and moves it to the best. It is now better than the Xbox 360, in my opinion, with this port completing it. So I'm very excited about it, if that's not obvious. And so let's all get to the trailer. Now, warning before we watch the trailer, M2 are not great presenters of their ports. They are not that great at doing trailers. They're all very lackluster usually and really basic. So keep that in mind. It's not going to be probably all that hype, but here we go. So I'm really liking this opening so far because they're actually putting in some effort to give it a little bit of zazz and like spectacle and make it feel like, okay, this is kind of a big deal. The music's cool. The visual effects are cool. They're kind of putting in more work than they usually do, to be honest. Like I said, they are not good at trailers. All the trailers look like an intern did them in half an hour. So I like this little opening, you know, the background, the text, very cool. You can tell they put more effort into this than what they normally do. That artwork looks awesome, by the way. I'm really looking forward to if they release some kind of art book and stuff. Imagine the thumbnails, my friends. Imagine the thumbnails. So here we go. Also, fair warning, I can't read a character of Japanese in the slightest. So I'm really going to miss out on a lot of what this trailer is even saying because I can't speak Japanese or read it in any form or fashion. So I'm assuming it's saying, hey, DOJ, it's the classic M2 ShotTriggers. You all know us, you all love us. Here's some gameplay footage. See, this here, let's pause this for a sec. Hold on. This bit here, I really, really wish that they did a little bit more than just having the kind of blurred iPhone things on the sides. I really wish they would have zoomed, pan, did some full-in cuts. Like, I get the idea they want to show you the full game, but I really think they need to step up their trailers, and especially with the text like covering the screen anyway. Why not zoom in right here, M2? Crop and zoom, for the love of God. Anyway, so let's continue. Super easy mode. No one gives a shit about super easy mode. I'm sorry. I'm sure some people play it, but I never do, and I don't think many players do. Because it's too easy. Like, their easy modes are actually not that good, in my opinion, because they're actually too easy. Crimson Clover has a much better novice mode. Gunvein has a much better novice mode. What's that say? I'm not sure. Oh, I'm sure it's talking about the accuracy of the PCB to the PS4. That's really cool. They do a side-by-side demonstration, especially since, like I said, I don't think any of the ports of the past have been all that accurate, like completely. Even the PS2 port, I think it's accurate for its era, but I don't think it's like dead on accurate like the ShotTrigger ports are, like Ketsui and Garegga. Those are dead on accurate. So it's fantastic that they're showing us this. Sort of the paradox of M2 ShotTriggers is I actually expect this level of accuracy from them at this point. So if they didn't deliver it, even though other developers, I might let them slide a little bit, because ShotTriggers have such a strong track record of being so accurate to the PCB, I do expect this level of accuracy, especially since I believe it will become a new competitive standard where we're going to see less and less people playing on the PCBs, or less and less world records achieved on the PCBs, and more achieved on the PS4 port, like Ketsui, like Battle Garegga. So that's awesome. Yep, showing the accuracy. So what I really want to see is some kind of a range mode, right? So more and more accuracy. What's it saying? I don't know. Super accurate. Omega accurate. Okay. Translate that for me in the comments if you want. I like how they show Hibachi at the end. Yeah. Zoom. Zoom. Why not zoom when he explodes? That's cool, though. That effect's pretty cool. So we're getting near the end of the trailer here. I didn't see anything that mentioned or showed an arranged mode. Now, it could have been shown in Japanese because I can't read Japanese, but I would have really liked to have seen some kind of visual representation of what the arranged mode looks like. Hopefully there is one. If there's not, of course, I will still absolutely recommend the port. Required reading, in my opinion. But if there's not an arranged mode, it does feel like a massive missed opportunity. I think we've reached the end of the trailer here. Classic, iconic art. 2023. When in 2023? I can't tell. Again, you can weigh in on the comments where exactly that is in 2023. I'm hoping it is not saying December 2023, because that's going to annoy me a bit, because if y'all looked around, there is no ShotTriggers port this December, this year. So hopefully it's not a whole nother year. If it is, it is, but I'm hoping we'll see it a little bit earlier. I hope you all enjoyed this reaction video. This is a game I'll absolutely be pre-ordering. I'll actually even probably buy whatever Uber Deluxe Kiss Your Mama special collector's version. And I don't do that. I don't do reaction videos. I don't buy collector's editions. I'm not into that stuff. But with these releases, these M2 ShotTriggers releases, they are so above and beyond in quality. It's kind of embarrassing for other developers, but it really is the highlight of my year. I wait all year long. Okay, when's the ShotTrigger release? And this year I was very disappointed because there wasn't one. And so I'm glad to see this coming out, hopefully in the near-ish future, because I'm getting bored. Awesome stuff, ShotTriggers. I'm really glad they've got DOJ. There's still other games I'd love to see them do afterward, but of course there's a giant list. You could go on for years because there's so many quality shmups and not many quality home ports of these quality shmups. We just saw Akai Katana, for example, by City Connection. I mean, it's an alright release, but it's barely an upgrade, if it even is an upgrade, over the 360 port from, what, 10 years ago or whatever? Whereas ShotTriggers, their releases, they are a step above and beyond. There's something to mark your calendar by. Honestly, I think they're better than the PCBs. They run just as well as the PCBs in most cases. Sometimes better, like Garegga. Like Garegga not only has better input lag than the PCB, I'm pretty sure, but it also has colored bullets mode, so you can actually see the game. And then, of course, all the extras, the save states. I mean, it kind of makes your PCB antiquated, which is really impressive of a port to do. So I'm very, very excited. My poor PGM is probably shaking in its boots. It'll never get touched again once this port comes out. But anyway, adios, everyone. So thank you to the $5 patrons: Another Joe, Anthony A, Aaron Solis, Bo, Ben, Bettino Katanga, Blur SDG, Boghog, Borgie22, Brian Shiver, Chase Palumbo, Chato Maltese, Chris Yusufovich, Chronic Burnout 3, Climby Coyote, Cook Some Soup, Corey Mark, Dingo, Des Audio, Darren Griffin, Disco Star Slayer, DJ420 Praise It, Eric H, Fantaside, FCK, Full Set, Retro Schmupper, Hausu, J, JLab, JB RPG, John Kelly, Game Boy Guru, K, K Horse, K2, KZ, Khalil Reedy, Contain, Larridge, Malaise, Maz, Megadeth 859, Minong, Mechalin, Michael Stum, Mitchell Y, Queen Charlene, Nathaniel Davis, and Electron, Neon Dagger Games, Okla Kugels, Psycho Blizzard, Rattlecat, Raoul, Real Skeen, Riff Mason, Rolf015, Sarah, Scanline City, Seesaw SDG, 7 Overdose, Shmup Junkie, Sarah Pong, Steve Fiction, Takero Mucho, The Boot Rex, The Goddamn Milkman, The Dirty Screech, The N1, The Old Bensta, TRM Sugumo, Twilight EX, Utakoi Root, Wabby Legs, and Utakaya. Thanks for watching.